Good morning, everybody. Well, it's morning for me anyway, when I'm recording this. Welcome to Blood Bowl League of Blood Bowl. Things definitely happened this week. There's a big gaping hole where Tyrea the second was, which I feel like after him dying again, I think that's the game's way of saying Thomas is a terrible name. It was a bad name on the show. Stingray agrees. It was horrible. So he's gone. I'm not rehiring him. I don't have the money for it. Well, I mean, I do, but you got to keep something in the bank to replace Bloodthirster. Although it doesn't really matter too much. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. Missed next game here. Miles of Vials suffered -1 strength. Booted him. And frankly, I probably should have booted that piece a while ago. I've got a fair number of niggling injuries, and they all are starting to really add up. These -AV pieces are going to be a problem as well, I'm sure, but it doesn't really matter too much. But niggling injury were definitely starting to add up, and I think barring Wolf and Sheep Clothing, that's the one I have left now. And I mean, 7 armor value, niggling injury, I'm not surprised that piece ate it. I just didn't really feel like wasting my apothecary on it, and I didn't really see the point in keeping around at that point. So, because minus strength is a dead as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I mean, nothing really changed otherwise for my team. It was a pretty bad week. Let's just get into it. If you haven't watched my Salt Fest, you can definitely watch me being very cranky and Andrew's Minotaur being crushingly reliable. I didn't get a whole lot of anything out of this. I got the MVP, and that's about it. Andrew, on the other hand, killed one of my guys, did 5 casualties, did 5 KOs, got a touchdown. If he had been a little more careful, should have had probably another casualty and another touchdown on this, but it's okay. He was winning pretty hard at that point. The name of this game is basically Andrew's Minotaur being extremely well-behaved and piling on being extremely successful. Now, piling on, pretty successful skill to begin with, but it doesn't increase the odds as much as it did, I feel like. Nevertheless, I ate a lot of Astrograin, and yeah, just not a good game for me. This is a matchup I can win, but I have to do some damage, and I broke armor a couple times, but not very successfully. Once I got that behind, it's really hard to come back. 10 people off the pitch at any given time is going to be pretty hard to come back from. Yeah, I just was not able to produce enough here. And then my dice weren't great when they needed to be, which has kind of been the name of the season at this point. So yeah, it's what it is. That's the season for me. Let's look at Andrew's team. 50k for Andrew, which is pretty good. Not great. Oh, wait, this isn't even the right matchup. Oh, right. We'll talk about that in a second. 80k for me. 50k against his forced tie against Chris. Level ups only occurred for my game, though, so some slight justice there. But as you can see, this Minotaur went on a rampage of me, up to 11 casualties now, which is pretty ridiculous. Almost as good as Gatan Ironback here. Yeah, I don't know. Basically, like I said, this should be level 3, and arguably he should have 29 SPP here, but basically Andrew took a surf attempt for some reason. I don't think he remembered that surfing doesn't give you SPP. Took a surf attempt and didn't walk in the touchdown. So these things happen. Big level up here was Darketh Quicktooth, who's now Claw Mighty Blow, which makes his team even more lethal. Yeah, his MVP didn't go anywhere good. Injury or touchdown and SVP didn't go anywhere good. I think it went to Darketh Quicktooth here, and MVP probably went to one of the other high-level pieces, which is okay. It's not great for Andrew, but it's okay. This team is plenty scary. He's got a ton of money, 4 rerolls. I mean, yeah. One thing actually that he did do that he'll probably undo here is he did fire his 0 SVP Hobgoblin, which I think is fine. Reason I think it's fine is the 0 SVP Hobgoblin really isn't doing a lot for you and could have stolen the randomly assigned force high SVP. So I'm assuming he'll rehire it, just so he has 13 pieces still. Not that he might need it. He could certainly avoid spiraling expenses further and leave this space blank, which I'd be okay with. So 1-0 victory for Andrew, which knocks me out of the playoff stage. We'll look into that a little bit more. Because I didn't do it in the right order last time, we don't have a... I should have forced had this when I did the review, but no level ups on Jessup's team. I believe the SPP went to some gutter runners, which is fine. More gutter runners is good. Had enough money to, I think, hire somebody else. I'm really bad at remembering other people's teams statically, so I want to say he bought Poppycock the Younger. Let's see if I can find this one game team. Yeah, Poppycock the Younger got hired after his last game, so I don't know. Jessup's team is also pretty serious. 1720 team value now, 7 fan factor. He got block on his Rat Ogre, which is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, this team rebuilt itself pretty quickly, which is kind of what I've always said is the potential to do. I mean, I still don't like this, but team's looking good. Hogwash Redux 1 touchdown away from level 4, which is really good. Anyone else really close? There's actually a lot of pieces within an injury or a touchdown or MVP leveling up here. Take a quick run through here. MVP, 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 MVP. So 4 pieces of MVP. Actually, less pieces in touchdown range than I thought. Just 1, 2. Yeah, just the 2. Okay, so fewer pieces than I thought actually, but still, this team's doing good. Honestly, it's got 14 pieces. As punchy as the rest of the league is, I could see going up to 15. Leave space for a star player if he needs to. That said, I think just saving his money is probably better. Jessup's really been skirting the edge of being at 0 here, so I would just keep saving his money and keep going from there. This team is rebuilding itself pretty good. It's been lucky when it needs to be, and that's definitely been helpful. Let's take a look at the other group here. We had a tie game here between Grey Duck and Orville. Kind of a surprise to me. This game, Orville's LP when he needed to be and was able to do okay. Grey Duck didn't hit as hard as she normally does and just wasn't able to do as much here. Only 30k for Grey Duck isn't that big of a deal though. 3 casualties sustained, so the tackles, or the ground at least, and 3 KOs. Yeah, so Orville's war with the ground continues unabated, as always. Good amount of SVP from though, 2 passes, MVP, touchdown, so 10 SVP total, not that bad. Great walking away with 10 as well, just casualties being the source of that. Oh, I didn't really look at Andrew's SVP. We'll go back and look at that in a second. I don't want to jump around too much here. In terms of, I don't know, the game's pretty much just some, I don't know, could have been cleaner play on both sides, but I think Orville just defended better than he needed to, or not needed to, but Orville defended well when he needed to and was able to keep Grey Duck to a tie. No level ups from what I can tell. Does have 2 Blodge Chaos Warriors now. Yeah, not seeing anything new. Yeah, I mean, considering that she was missing a Chaos Warrior and a Minotaur, it was a pretty tricky game anyway, but we'll see. And she did hire some more Beastmen. Yeah, she did hire Link Duster 2 and Serval BBLoBB. Oh my god. Just a little bit. It's early. Cut me some slack here. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Critic's pretty much locked in the playoffs at this point anyway. It is, I don't think, mathematically possible for her to lose out, or for her to get knocked out at this point. We'll run the math when we do the rankings here. If we take a look at Orville's squad, the casualty inflicted was a pretty significant one. Missed next game here on this runner, which isn't the end of the world, but this is Orville's main throwing piece. Level up on Dude, which is good. You'll probably end up getting Dauntless, which I wouldn't hate too much. Dauntless Blodge is pretty good. Fend Sidestep also wouldn't be that bad. He already has a strip ball piece, but I could see giving it to a Blitzer. Other thoughts that I'd like. I mean, the thing with, assuming it's not a doubles roll, if it's a doubles roll, obviously you get guard because there's not really any better choices for a Blitzer at that point. I do like Sidestep quite a bit. Jump Up could be okay. tackle might be alright. There's a number of pieces with dodge in the league at this point, so I wouldn't hate tackle here. I mean, it's one of those things where the third skill on a blitzer is pretty good. Sidestep, I think, is probably my favorite, because sidestep is really good. Frenzy might not be that bad, but he already has a witch elf for that, so yeah, that's kind of what I would lean towards at this point. Overall rolled really well, better than he ever has with 70k. I'm almost tempted to say he might want to hire his second or third runner, but I think the second witch elf is probably most valuable at this point. Witch elves are really good. Second witch elf would definitely add a lot to this team, because even with just frenzy, dodge, jump up, they're really, really good pieces. So that's what I would lean towards. Leaves him skirting the edge of not being able to replace people, but I think it's okay. So witch elf is what I would lean towards. Would bump up his T value quite a bit, but you're playing elves. These things happen. Okay. Other side of things. This matchup just happened. I've watched a little bit of it. Skipped around to get some highlights. This is Mark versus Zach here. Mark will roll 70k. 2-1 for Mark. This is pretty much... Zach scored pretty early and then wasn't able to stop Mark because Mark went on a punching spree, like turn 5, 6, somewhere in there, pretty early on. Was able to just completely crush enough people where it didn't matter. Big hits on both sides, obviously. 7 KOs, 2 casualties, 8 KOs, 3 casualties. So we're talking about 1 or 2 dice points away. Mark actually suffering more casualties than he took in. 1 death from both sides. So the Skull Mountain grows ever taller. Total of 3 skulls this week. It's pretty good. Trying to think of key points here. Aside from just the Mark effectively 2-1 grinding an undead team. Other big plays would be the wizard. Zach was talking about, he did what I told him not to do, which is fireball. Which my main point is that fireball is hard to make successful, whereas lightning bolt pretty much going to be successful all the time. But fireball can be extremely good in the right circumstances, which it was here. He hurt a runner and he killed Pierce, which Pierce 3. Maybe Mark should just accept Pierce is meant to be a high level piece, and that's the end of it. Which is kind of sad because Pierce was getting the only to score the touchdown. I don't think he has any other level ups here. Not seen any anyway. Abed crawls closer to level 6. Actually, that's one thing I should mention. Mark blew a apothecary on a badly hurt on Abed, and they didn't have a level for Pierce, which the debate we made that he needed Abed, but he didn't score in time to bring Abed back, so it's kind of a waste at that point. I gotta say, I mean, apothecary and badly hurt at this point is not worth it. Did miss next game, this runner, actually. Didn't just injure it. I thought it was just badly hurt, but apparently it was a miss next game. Jeff Winger, it's not, I mean, he wasn't around that long, but he hasn't played many games, and is how it is. Trying to think here. Other than that, Mark's team's looking pretty good. I don't know. I'm always debating whether Mark needs to hire more players. His team value is relatively low because of how freaking cheap these linemen are. And they're pretty value linemen at that. So I guess my overall thought would be to hire at least one. 1590 is a pretty good place to be, and to stay at 13 players. Lets him absorb 2 removals pretty okay, which, considering this column, is a pretty lucky thing here. Niggling injury are surely too. So, And Annie, I guess that'd be my thought, would be to hire another lineman. That'd be okay. But yeah, definitely our bloodiest match of the week. Let's take a look at Zach's team. This is what I'm really excited for, though. Yes! Necromancer, Skeleton Hire, Pierce 3. Love it. I love it so much. Oh, it's so good. So, I don't know. I was going to say he could fire one of his undead linemen, but all of his undead linemen are actually pretty good here. Jason is level 4. I forgot about that. I don't think any progression here. Yeah, nobody looks bigger. Usain Bolt got blodge plus strength. I think he had that last time, though. Otherwise, this is great. Fabulous. This piece is great. Really not seeing anything else here. No other big changes or anything like that. 60k. It's pretty good. 60k and a free player, so good week for Zach. that wraps us for the week. So yeah, like I said, I'm out of the playoffs at this point. There's no mathematical way for me to make it in. It's just a question of whether these two make it in. Andrew off this week. I play Jessup this week, and then they play each other last week. So that's kind of a big matchup. It just kind of determines who's gonna be first seed essentially. Well, yeah, because even if Jessup wins, he'll be at 11. So Andrew could beat him and go to 13, which would put him ahead. So first, second seed is kind of up for the air, but otherwise, I am pretty significantly out at this point. Down here, Grey Duck pretty much for sure in her calendar is Zach and then Orville. So while these two pieces could in principle make a move up to second, even if they both win 6 and 7 points respectively, and then Mark plays them each as well, I feel pretty confident in saying, well, actually no, second place is still pretty much up in the air. Everybody needs to, well, not everybody needs to win out. Mark needs to win and win to secure it for sure. Well, no, because if Orville wins both, he could potentially go to 10. Actually, that is well, no, because Grey Duck should win the tiebreaker. So Grey Duck should be in the playoffs kind of no matter what. Because if Mark wins out, well, if Mark wins out, Orville can't win out. So I think Grey Duck's in the playoffs for sure. First and second seed might be debatable, but we'll see. Second place is pretty much in the air, but that Mark with his win definitely has much better chances of making it in. So if seeds stay are where they are, could be pretty messy. We'll see. Overall prediction is still Grey Duck and Andrew making it to the finals. I think that's the most likely outcome, all things considered. We'll take a quick perusal of the matches for the week. We've got me versus Jessup. Let's see how much money I'm getting or giving up. 15.50 for me. I think Jessup's only at 16 something, 16.20. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if memory works. 17.20. Okay, so I'm actually getting 170. Wizard money's pretty good. We'll see what I decide to do with it. I'm out, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm still gonna play the matchup as though I wasn't out, but I'm not expecting a lot. For some reason, my dice have just been no good lately. So maybe this is the big turnaround now that it doesn't matter anymore. Tie game here, obviously. Oh, prediction. I think Jessup should beat me. He's got a bunch of dudes and a lot of components, and while I do have my 5 guard pieces, I don't know if it's going to be enough. We'll see. Very possible I can clear him, because I do hit a lot. I don't hit hard, but I hit a lot. So we'll see. If the dice behave as they have been, I'm not going to win. I'll say Jessup wins. I think that's pretty likely. Whatever. It doesn't matter for me. So we'll say Jessup wins. Grey Duck versus Undead here. 1680. Grey Duck is right below 1840. Okay, so Grey Duck is well within spiral expenses lane. 1680 for Zach, right? So we're looking at 160 given away. Wizard money. Hey, Wizard worked really well last time, and Wizard is actually really good for stopping this slow-moving team. So I'd like a Wizard here. I don't know. If Smiley continues to be on a rampage, could be a problem. Last time these teams have met, it's been a win. Every single time it's a win. With everybody back, too, I think Grey Duck's got the best chance here. We'll see. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But I think Grey Duck winning is probably the most likely outcome. Zach's got some very nice pieces now, but I just don't see it. He could dump a lot of money into inducements too, but I don't think he wants to give Grey Duck anything. So we will see. Taking a look here at Orville versus Mark. I don't know. Let's do team values first. So assuming Orville hires the Witch Elf and has a level up here, we're looking at plus 130 in team values, so he'll be at 1600. Assuming he does what I tell him to, which, you know, whatever. No one has to do that at this point. Smart could hire nobody and get a babe, or you could hire another lineman and get nothing. Interesting choices one way or the other here. Not entirely sure which is the best option. Still, I think, I don't know. It kind of all depends if Mark hits hard. Forgot to check history here. We'll quick do that. Win here, and a win here. Okay, we'll say Mark wins. Sorry, Orville. So Mark wins here. I think that's a pretty fair thing. If Orville's War with the Ground continues and Mark punches hard enough, it should be fine. We'll see. Sometimes Orville is very elfy, though, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Hall of Fame. Quick run through here. Abed, most experienced. Best scorer is the Dean. Still holding on to that part. Best thrower is Hui. What else we got here? Most violent player, still Abed. Holding on to that. Dean reclaimed his best runner from Ocelot Atlas. These two are running neck and neck, although the Dean is pulling way ahead now. Best thrower, Hui is our best thrower overall, it seems. Best killer, Shirley makes it up to 3. Congratulations, Shirley. I knew we'd break 3 eventually, especially with 3 deaths this week. I'm not surprised to see someone moving up to 3 here. So good job, everybody. Quick recap of my predictions here. I think that Jessica will win. I think that Grit will win, and I think Mark will win. So right hand column today, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.